Hi folks, welcome to Hacks, Skills, and Mods. We only have a few parts left, so we're getting close to done with this gig. The plungers on the safety, or for the safety and the slide stop, I polished the outside of those with 600 grit sandpaper. I polished the inside of the plunger tube with 600 grit sandpaper. And when I clean that, I use a pipe cleaner and just run it through there, and that works pretty good. When I clean my guns, I lubricate with synthetic motor oil and or white lithium grease, and I usually just wipe them down and clean them. And if I've got grooves, like I'll take a rag and I'll use my thumbnail to get down in that lug there and just wipe out what's in that corner. I usually just wipe them down and coat them with oil. That's really it. The barrel, I'll run a brush through it, oil swab it. The chamber, I'll make sure there's no lead in the chamber or wax from the lead bullets that I shoot, and then coat it with oil. That's about it. So that's done. I don't do anything to the mainspring housings, and I don't do anything to the pin that retains it. In the barrel, on the hood, this corner here and here, where that fits into the slide, if it comes in there at a little bit of an angle, hopefully you can see that. If it comes in at a little bit of an angle, it can give you a stoppage, okay? So what I do to let that go on home, like so, is I take a file and ever so slightly, right on this corner, I put a 45-degree angle, which that's about a 45 on both corners, just like that, and then polish it with 600 grit sandpaper. Most of your barrels, the feed ramp stops about here and here and doesn't go up through here. I take the feed ramp on up. I want a beveled edge from here all the way around to here. I want everything that case can possibly hit to be beveled to that chamber, okay? And it just goes right in there. No matter which direction it hits, no matter which side it hits, it's all funneled towards the chamber. So from here all the way around to here, all has an edge, and up here it gets really slight because there's very little chance that it gets up there. But if it does, if a bullet gets up there, it's also going to contact this hood to keep it from getting too far out of whack. So that's very little. But I want a funnel right here. Okay. Now, I eyeball this. A gentleman asked me a question on an AK video the other day about how I got the angles, how I measured the angles. I don't really measure the angles. I want the original ramp, I want to lay it just a little flatter, and then I want to come all the way. I want to lay that just a little flatter, and then I want to go at a little steeper angle, and I want to come almost to this edge right here where it meets the bottom of the barrel, or the bottom of the chamber on the outside. I want to leave just the tiniest little sliver right there so that I know I didn't take anything off the length of the bottom of this chamber. And then I want to go at a shallow angle up here, okay? And I do this with a Dremel tool. And you want a fine stone because you can take a lot out quick with a coarse stone and you can screw your barrel up. So you can just keep going back and forth, okay? As long as you don't take metal out, if you can see those scratches right there, that case is from this point back is a lot thicker than it is from this point forward. You don't want to take metal out until you get past this point, okay? If you do that, if you take metal out of this chamber so that when a case is seated in it and you look down in this crack right here, if you get past that point, you've taken too much metal out. So that's something you don't want to do. Once you get these three angles, then you want to just take the edges off of them and kind of round it, okay? Once you get it rounded, 600 grit sandpaper, I know that's so new, isn't it? Roll it around a case to give it the proper shape, okay? and then just polish that. You can twist it or push in and out, whatever suits you. And you want to polish that, and you want to get that to where it's basically a mirror finish. I usually use buffing wheel and compound to polish the inside of the chamber, and you want it polished all the way around because you want that just as slick as you can get it to a mirror finish. Once I've done that, I take a piece of leather and I use this to polish the feed ramp like so. Okay, you can put something behind it to make it stable and give it a little bit of rigidity, and just polish that until you have a mirror finish on that feed ramp. That's what you want right there. While I'm thinking about it, the feed ramp and the frame, you want to do the same thing. You want to polish it with 600 grit like so, okay, and then you want to polish it with leather until you get a mirror finish. If there are deep machining grooves in your feed ramp, you do not want to change the angle, and you do not want to create a low place in this, okay? So just polish, just use sandpaper until you get it nice and slick. If there's one or two little scratches that are deeper in there, don't worry about that, and just polish it with leather like so. Folks, I believe that is the extent of the modifications on my 1911. Modifications, upgrades, whatever you want to call it. If you do these things, and I'm not a gunsmith, I don't claim to be, but if you do these things and you have some talent about working on things, you can take a Citadel or a Rock Island or a box stock Springfield or something like that, and you can make it run like a $2,500, $3,000 gun. And that's the difference. That is the difference in the two guns. When you buy the $3,000 1911, basically you paid the factory to do everything I just showed you how to do. So, good luck. Any questions or comments, please send a message to me. Thanks again to our veterans and our emergency service personnel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Have a wonderful day.